Hello and welcome to Board Game TV. It's Thursday and we're going to be starting a new series, HeroClix. Now I thought long and hard about whether or not to include HeroClix in any of my playthroughs. I have a nice collection of HeroClix figures, all Marvel. But it's not a traditional board game. For those of you who don't know what HeroClix is, it's a versus game, one player versus another player. And you basically have one team on one end of the map. This is the map right here. You have another team on the other end of the map, and you keep going until one team loses all its figures. Simplification, I know. They have all different types of sets of HeroClix. They have Marvel, DC, Street Fighter, Lord of the Rings, you name it. They got it, just about. They have a lot of licenses. You can mix and match, so if you wanted a team that could consist of Hulk on one, Batman on the other, Gandalf the Grey on another, you could do that. It's very popular, but it's a very expensive game. They have tournaments, real big tournaments, professional tournaments, and it's a collectible game. Usually they come out with about 2 to 3 sets a year. And what it is you go to the store, your local hobby store, or you can order it offline. They sell a brick. Usually each set has I don't know, roughly around 50 something figures. Some of the figures are common, rare, very rare, uncommon, chase, that type of figures. And the thing is, you don't know what you're buying when you buy a brick. You don't know what you're getting. You know you're going to get so many figures, but you don't know what figures. And they put out a list of the figures and you just hope for the best. Now I haven't bought any new HeroClix figures in a while because, like I said, I'm big on Marvel. And it seems they keep repeating some of the same sets, I don't know, over and over again. I mean, it seems like they come out with a Avengers set every year, X-Men set every year, something like that. And I don't need 50 different Iron Men. So usually what I do is I wait for a set to come out, give it about 6 months, see what figures in the set I want, and try to get it on the secondary market. Sometimes I get lucky and the figures I want are cheap because they're the common figures. Sometimes they're just 99 cents. But sometimes it seems, and it seems a lot lately, is that the figures I do want are the rare or chase figures, and they cost a pretty penny on the secondary market. Or they're tournament exclusive figures. And they have these tournaments, and they're a big thing, and you know, it's a very popular game. It's different, but it's very popular. It's a strategy-based game because the heroes you have are going to have a certain set of powers. And I will say that the heroes are pretty accurate to their powers. Like, I have the Hulk here. You're not going to find a Hulk that has telekinesis. Let's say, okay, the Hulk is pretty accurate to his character in the comics. And I think they're very good about that. Also, over the years, the figures have gotten better. More durable. You can tell some of the older ones I have because they have this thin base, while some of the newer ones I have the thicker base, and they're a lot better. They're pretty good detailed. They're durable, surprisingly. I have dropped plenty of these figures. They each come with a card that details their powers, and their powers, you know, are color coded and everything. We'll go over that in a second. And that's basically, it's a collectible versus game that uses strategy, and it's very popular and it's very expensive. So that's HeroClix in a nutshell. I know I'm probably skipping over a million things, but I don't want this video to go too long, and I still have a lot to get into. So I got into HeroClix, mainly Marvel, because I love Marvel of the 70s and 80s and 90s. Maybe up until maybe about into the mid 2000s. I've been a fan all my life. I got into it thinking I was going to be able to play a lot more than I was, and my OCD sees figures that, oh man, yeah, I remember that character, and I bought up a lot of stuff, and I actually have nobody to hardly ever play with. The rules can seem very overly complex, and there you will make a lot of mistakes because there is a lot of rules and powers and stuff to take in once you start. But once you start playing, after a while, you will get to the hang of it, and you will get characters that you like and that kind of thing. Some of the tournaments they have, you just open a box and you have to play with the characters you have. And you talk about having to use your smarts and wits about you to do that. But like I said, I've loved Marvel, so I only get the Marvel. My big bugaboo about heroclix is this used not to be a problem, but they kind of tend to forget the obscure, forgotten D-list characters. Like I said, it seems like they're coming out with, they got a gazillion Spider-Man, a gazillion Iron Mans, a gazillion Captain Americas. I'm just talking about the Marvel alone, but some of the more obscure, forgotten characters, they don't do as much. They still do a few of them. Now, don't get me wrong, it just seems like they've focused on the bigger named characters, I guess probably to make more money. But like, here's Beast. He's a obscure, forgotten character from the 70s and 80s Hulk comic, and these are the ones I really tend to focus towards. And that's my only really little complaint with heroclix these days. Like the last set I checked, there's only like out of the 50 characters, maybe out of 3 or 4 that I want. And then I think another also thing is they're doing a lot more modern characters, which, you know, hey, I don't blame them, but I just don't read modern comics. I have a big problem with the comic book industry these days, and I just don't read modern comics, so I don't know a lot of the newer characters. So that's heroclix. So I modified it to where I said, you know what, I'm going to get my money's worth out of these, and I'm going to have some fun. And so I'm going to make scenarios based on my favorite comic events or stuff, comic book heroes, and I'm going to modify it to where I can try to play solo. And so I've done that with several scenarios and heroes, and I'll show you how I do that in a little bit. But basically, real quickly, let me explain the adjusted rules. And like I said, I'm probably going to miss a lot of things, but every character has a point value. As you can see, She-Hulk here has a 75 point value, whereas like Doc Samson here has a 108 point value. You pick a point value, and usually the standard is 300, and you build a team of characters worth 300 points. You can be a little under, but you cannot go over. Once you've got your team together, one team goes on one side of the map, the other team starts on another side of the map, and as you can see in this purple square area for each side, you roll for initiative, and team goes first, and you move your characters on the map and try to knock out your other team. There's ways you can revive or rescue and stuff, but we're not going to be doing that for this purpose of these. Maps have terrain, just like most games. This has red. As you can see, it says 1 or 2. Sorry about that, cat was acting a fool. 1 or 2, and elevated is basically how it sounds. It's on elevated, it's on top of something. So let's say you have a character who cannot fly, he can't get on top of here, but unless he climbs this ladder right here, okay? And a character like, let's say She-Hulk was down here and Hulkling was here, and he could shoot her if, you know, he had the ability to shoot laser beams. He could shoot at her while he was up here, okay? But she could do nothing to him because she can't fly and she can't shoot. Brown terrain, such as these this little thing right here is basically impassable terrain. You can't move through it unless you have a special ability that lets you do so. You can't shoot through it or nothing like that. The black on these buildings, this is the walls of the building. You can actually in this game break a wall, and you're going to put like a rubble token and to go in there. The yellow just signifies that this is the building. And some games you can start with debris on the board, and if you have super strength, which is a power, you can pick up the debris and use it to hit somebody with and do a little extra damage, or you can use it to shield yourself. We have what's it called? Hindering terrain, which is the green. Okay, and it blocks line of sight. But let's say Hulkling was standing in it, and She-Hulker's right there. She could still punch him, but if she shot laser beams, she couldn't shoot him. When you move into hindering terrain, you have to stop moving. You can't move any further once you go into a space with hindering terrain. And then when you move out, you basically have to halve your movement value to move out. But if you can fly over it, no problem. Okay? So that we've gone over terrain real quickly. Let's go over how the game is played. So if we're playing a 300-point game, you have basically 3 rounds. And let's say this guy on this side, he would move a character. And then this guy on this side would move a character. Then he would do 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 a character, and that's basically the end of the round. It's 3 rounds, so 300 points, 3 rounds. We're going to be playing a 700-point game, so we're going to have 7 rounds. But we're going to, because I'm playing solo, I'm going to modify some things with that, and I'll explain that in a little bit. So this video does not get seriously extra long. I don't want to go over every single power in heroclix because there are plenty of them. We're just going to go over the powers. Basically, when I use a character and he has that power and I want to explain what that power is, so we're going to do it like that. Otherwise, this is going to be a very long video. It'll be here all day. But however, I will explain some things. I'm going to explain like the anatomy of a dial. Well, he's not a good one because his foot's blocking that. Okay, we'll say Hulkling here. Okay, so the dial. Let's look at the dial. You have his name. You have a team ability. This is what team he's with. Now, if you have so many heroes on your team that have that team ability, which is the Avengers team ability, you can get a bonus. And there's a Spider-Man team ability, a Hydra, Masters of Evil, Anti-Spider-Man, and I'm just naming some in Marvel, okay? A Mystical, Cosmic, and they all have different abilities, okay? So if you have so many characters on your team that have that symbol, you can use that ability to help you. We're not going to be using team abilities for this, so we're not going to really get into that. Here's his points value. Here's what set he comes with and what number figure he is. Okay? Alright. Some of the older models don't have this, but some of the newer ones do. As you can see, the 2 different things here is he has these and he has these, but he has a star, and that's a trait. And that's basically a power he has that he can never lose. He will always have that power, always have that ability. Some of the older figures, the traits are on their card, which it lists it, but some of the newer figures, they started putting the star on there to let you know he's got that trait. Okay, so you have basically on this side you have the movement. Okay. Now you see they have 2 different symbols. This is a foot movement, and this means he's a ground guy. He can't fly. These wings by him means he can fly. Okay. You have your fist, which is your attack. There's, I think, X-ray. Does he have? Yes. Okay, you notice X-ray, his fist is a little different. It has a sharpshooter signal on it. That's a sharpshooter. And what that basically means is he can do a ranged attack when he's adjacent to somebody. Normally you can't do that. If you have a ranged attack, you cannot do it when you're adjacent to somebody, adjacent to an opposing character. Okay, and I'll get into that in a minute, but that means he can. Okay. And then you have your defense shield. And you're going to have some, like let's take Hulk here. You notice he has a shield, but his shield has a line through it. Okay. Basically means he's indomitable and that he has willpower the whole game. And I'll get into what willpower is in a second. Okay. And then you have the numbers beside them. And there's usually a color, but they're not always. Like take Samson here. By his foot you have the number 8 and you have the orange. And on the card it lists that power. So he can move 8 spaces and he has the orange power for movement. And by his fist you have the 10, which is the attack, and he has the green attack power. And then on his defense he has 17 and it is a gold defense power. Okay, so 17 is his defense. So let's say Hulkling and Samson were fighting. Hulkling has an attack of can't even read that, man. 9. Samson has a defense of 17. So what Hulkling would do is you roll 2 6-sided dice, and he would add. He rolled a 9, so he add that 9 on his attack plus the 9 here is 18. He's penetrated. He's gone higher than Samson's defense, so then he would do 3 damage, because that's what this means. This is his damage icon, and that's how much damage he does, and then there's his power associated with that as well. Okay, so that's how you determine damage. If I were to roll 2 6s, I would get a critical hit and I would get to add +1. However, if I were to roll 2 1s, I would get a critical failure and I would have to take the attacker would have to take a click of damage. And that's basically what you do. Samson takes damage, you click his dial here. Let's see if I can get it like this. Click his dial, and then now he has a new set of stats and powers, and then eventually it would be he's KO'd to that. The higher the point value of the figure, usually the more powerful and more clicks they have to spend. Okay. And then we have the range. Now, both Hulkling and Samson have 0 range, so they are close combat people. They can't shoot anything. Okay. But X-Ray, as you can see right here, has a 10 range and 1 lightning bolt, and that means he can shoot up to 10 spaces away. Okay. Now, some other figures, like Leader here, has 2 lightning bolts, and there's a possibility to even have 3. That means he can target 2 people in the same turn. So he would say he wants to target both these guys. He rolls the die 1 time, and whoever's defense value he penetrates, he can miss them both, he can hit them both, or he can hit one or the other. And you see how much damage he does, and you would divide the damage up to between the 2. Okay. Now, I know I'm going real quick. It seems a lot to take in, but like I said, when you're moving, if you cannot fly, you cannot move past an opposing character. So Leader would have to stop here or here. He couldn't just run past him. Okay? He's engaged with Samson now. Alright? And so that's it. He cannot do any type of ranged combat because he doesn't have that sharpshooter ability that X-Ray has. So he would try to break away his next turn. Well, in order to break away from a character, and this is what they call based. He's based now. He's stuck here. He's based. In order to break away, he has to roll the die. If he rolls a 1 through 3, he cannot break away, and that's it. That's the end of his turn. If he rolls 4, 5, or 6, he can break away and move. Okay. Now you can't move and shoot or run and punch unless you have the power to do so. So most of the time you're either just going to be moving or doing a combat action. But you can't do both unless you have a certain power to do so, and there are powers for that. So let's talk about push. Okay? So every time you do a power action, whether it be moving, a combat action, or any power ability that requires you to use an action, you've done your action. And so normally you put a token by that player. Okay? So he has one action. Let's say Samson's turn comes up again. Samson can either push or clear this action. Let's say Samson wants to clear, so he'll just take that token away, and that'll be the end of his turn. It's kind of like resting. But let's say Samson wants to push. Okay? He does not have willpower, or he's not indomitable like the Hulk, so he's going to have to push. He can do another action, be it move or combat, but he's going to have to take a second token and put it next to him. And then he's going to have to take a click of damage because he pushed. Now, you can never have more than 2 tokens, okay? So, on Samson's next turn, he cannot push again. He just has to clear. He cannot do anything else but clear, okay? But say somebody like the Hulk, who has Indomitable, wants to do an action. So he does his action, and then his turn comes around again, and he wants to push. Well, if you have the power of willpower, or you're Indomitable, the Hulk can do a second attack or action, but he would not have to take a click of damage. So people with willpower or Indomitable, those are really good powers. It lets you really give two actions in a row without having to rest. Okay, that's basically what that does. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to explain before we get into the gist of it. There probably is. You can never be a +3, more than +3, I should say. There's the rule of 3. You can only do 3. You could bring in other heroes and stuff like that when you're playing, but like I said, for our purposes, we're not going to. And so, I think I've explained all I need to explain. I know I've probably missed a lot, but like I said, I'm just trying to go real quick because you could be all here all day. This is a very complex game. Your card makes it easy for you to have your list of powers. The more sometimes you get hurt, your powers and abilities go down. Sometimes they get even higher. It just depends on the character. Okay, so what am I doing? Well, like I said, I love Marvel Comics. And so we're going to play the World War Hulk storyline, but we're going to play my version of World War Hulk. Because I was a big fan of the Hulk from these 70s and 80s comics. I love the brute, mindless Hulk. I've always loved him better than I liked the Banner Intelligence Hulk. It's not to say I didn't like the Banner Intelligence Hulk, but I always loved the brute Hulk. He always seemed to be like, really, really, really strong. And to be unstoppable. And I think for a while there, he was probably the strongest hero. So, World War Hulk, this is a military base map. And the goal of the game is for the bad team, led by the leader and General Ross, to kill the Hulk. So, if the Hulk gets KO'd, the heroes lose. If General Ross or the leader get KO'd, or General Ross and the leader get KO'd, the heroes win. Okay? Real simple. Here's the Hulk. And like I said, I've always loved the Hulk. On his team is the Red Hulk. Now I know the Red Hulk was originally bad and was originally General Ross, but we're going to make this Red Hulk be Rick Jones. If you don't know, Rick Jones is big buddy of the Hulk. Always has been. There was a while in the 80s when Rick Jones was actually the Hulk. When our Hulk fell into a vat with another person during this Gamma adventure thing, and had some Gamma stuff. It was supposed to cure him, but it kind of went wrong. he turned into the Gray Hulk. And so he was the Gray Hulk for a while. But there was another Hulk running around that was a thinner, long-haired version of the Green Hulk, and it was actually Rick Jones. It turns out he had kind of fallen into the vat as well, and he got some of that powers. So we're going to say Rick Jones is the Red Hulk. Doc Samson, if you don't know, psychiatrist who got gamma radiated infused. He's kind of like an ally. He's fought the Hulk, but he's kind of always really tried to help him. He was a psychiatrist, and so he has gamma radiation strength. And he was played by the guy in Modern Family in the MCU movie, but they've really done nothing with that. And I think that guy was a poor choice as well to play him. Doc Samson's always been all right. She-Hulk, well, now we have She-Hulk. She's going to help the Hulk. You know, she's Banner's cousin, needed a blood transfusion. He gave her a blood transfusion. Turns out the blood turned her into the She-Hulk, but unlike him, she kept her intelligence. Not as strong, but kept her intelligence. And she used to be pretty cool. She's been a member of the Fantastic Four, the Avengers. I think lately, though, that she's gone to absolute garbage. They've made her, her comics have been garbage. But at one point in time, she was pretty cool. And we have Hulkling, who I really don't know anything much about. He's a shape changer, so there we go. But on to the bad guys. So we have the leader, who I think is one of the better, is the Hulk's main villain. Iron Man has Mandarin, Cap has Red Skull, the Hulk has the leader. Leader's often underrated, but I've always liked him. In that cartoon, the Avengers cartoon that came out around the first Avengers movie, Jeffrey Combs played him on the in the cartoon, and he did an excellent job, and he got the leader really good. And Samuel Stearns, he's basically got gamma radiated like the Hulk, but instead of being a muscle-bound brute, it increases his intelligence, and now he wants to rule the world. But for some reason, he's obsessed with the Hulk, and he's been really good. I always really liked him. Like I said, he's underused or underrated in the grand scheme of things in Marvel, which it shouldn't be. They did him in the MCU, but they did a poor job, I think, and they're never going to be able to do him because Universal won't let them, so piss on them. And of course, the Hulk's strength main villain, the Abomination, played by Tim Roth in the movie. I've always liked the Abomination. He was always he was never as like dumb, lack of intelligence as the Hulk, but he was never a smart guy anyway. Bronsky wasn't, not in the comics. But he's always been, and at one point, you know, at certain points, he's been stronger than the Hulk. So he was always a good powerhouse. He is one of the strongest creatures in the Marvel universe, and he doesn't ever get that attention. So that's a real shame. But I've always liked the Abomination. Here we have General Ross, played by William Hurt. They did a good job with him in the MCU, especially in the first Hulk movie. You know the story. Thinks Banner's his property, wants to destroy or control the Hulk. Here we go. We have a Hulkbuster Wrangler. It's on the team. One of Ross's lackeys. Kind of went over Bybeast a little bit. Just a obscure 70s, 80s villain that's fought the Hulk. I always liked it. It's pretty cool, but yeah, I never really did nothing with him. And now, last but not least, probably one of my favorite underrated teams is the UFOs. Now the UFOs consist of Vector, Vapor, X-Ray, Ironclad. And basically what they were four people who tried to replicate what had happened to the Fantastic Four. And in a way it did. They got bombarded, they got their rocket, got bombarded with cosmic rays, but their powers differ greatly from the Fantastic Fours. Vapor here could turn, she's the Sue Richards of the group, and she can turn herself into any type of gas, be it poison gas, noxious gas, even type of healing gas. She can basically turn herself, acidic gas, into any type of gas. Vector here is the leader of the group. He's the Mr. Fantastic, but he's nowhere near as smart as him. And he has telekinesis. He can move objects with his mind. Okay? That's basically it. X-Ray is the Johnny Storm, and he can shoot any type of radiation, X-rays, gamma rays, cosmic rays, beta rays, that type of stuff. So imagine if you're a normal human and you get shot by him, you're getting cancer within a couple of days. I can tell you that right there. Radiation poisoning. He's no joke. And then you have Ironclad, who's the thing of the group, and he's basically made out of iron. His body turned to iron, and he's got super strength. There you go. Surprisingly, the UFOs were not really big Fantastic Four villains. They were Hulk villains. You know? And they're very underrated as well. Not really used a lot. But there was a two-issue run on the Hulk in the 80s that the UFOs made their appearance. And it was one of my most memorable issues as a young man. And basically what it was the UFOs. It told their origin, but also the UFOs captured the Hulk. They were fighting up against the brute Hulk, and basically what happened was they couldn't beat him, but X-Ray finally shot him with some gamma rays or something, or anti-gamma rays, and it turned the Hulk back into Bruce Banner, and then they captured and kidnapped him. They put him on this kind of like grid platform thing that would negate him turning into the Hulk, and X-Ray would shoot him full of rays every 30 minutes so he couldn't turn into Hulk. And they broadcast the capture on TV and said they were kill him or whatever, that they didn't get paid or something like that. And you had a bunch of heroes looking on wanting to help, but they couldn't. They didn't know where he was. But finally, due to a fluke or something, Banner got free of the thing and was able to turn into the Hulk, and he fought them. And basically first person he took out was X-Ray, because before X-Ray can bombard him again, he took the grid thing he was hung on and wrapped it around X-Ray, and that took X-Ray out of the equation. Ironclad was fighting him. Vapor was fixing to gas him, and then he threw Ironclad into her, which she was like some kind of acidic gas, and the acid started eating away his iron, so she had to basically become a alkaline base type gas and just sit there and cover him up and neutralize him so he wouldn't die. And so that just left Vector and the Hulk, and Vector threw everything he had at the Hulk, and it didn't work, and Vector got his butt beat basically. They showed up again in the 90s for another memorable storyline, the Ghosts of the Past and the Hulk. That was when Marvel was doing all these gimmick covers. They had a little appearance there. They were also in that Avengers cartoon for a little bit. I've always thought they were they're really a powerful group. I don't know how they don't get used so much. I mean, I know they look goofy and goofy powers, but I mean, god dang, man. Guy's got telekinesis like Jean Grey. You got a strong guy. You got a lady who can turn into any type of gas, basically, and kill people like nothing. This guy can give you cancer within a couple seconds, or just radiate your body. So, you know. But that was one of the most memorable storylines of the Hulk comic. And so they've always been good Hulk villains, so I wanted to use them. So our version of the World War Hulk is going to be a little different. It's not really nothing to do with the modern version, which is actually a great story. I just don't have the figures for it. It's probably, arguably, one of the last good Marvel crossover events, to be honest with you. So there we go. That's our list of characters. That's what we're going to do. And now I'm going to show you how we're going to set up the game playing solo. Okay. Now these are our power action tokens. I'm going to be putting them on the card instead of next to the player. Okay. So in order to play solo, I have to come up with a way to where I can't anticipate my own moves. I know it sounds funny. So there are a few rules which I am going to have to do. And I'm going to play these characters not based on strategy, based on the way I think they would do, they would act, as opposing to what I've read of them in the comics. And believe it or not, all of these heroes I've read pretty good, except for Hulkling. He's the only one I really haven't much read. So I think I've got a good grasp of how they would act in the comics. It may not be the best strategy. Like, the Hulk is not going to go hide, because if he gets knocked out, we lose. No, it's the brute Hulk, man. Hulk smash. He's going to get madder and madder, and he's going to attack anybody. The leader's not going to jump into the forefront, and you have a lot of characters like that on the bad team. They're going to hover around and wait for an opening to appear, and then, you know, use it. And then you have some like Ironclad, the Bi-Beast, and the Abomination, who are brute strength guys who are just going to rush into the fray. Okay, so that's the way I'm going to do it. So what I have to do is I'm going to roll for initiative. Okay, so let's go ahead and roll for initiative. The evil team is the red dice. The good team is the blue dice. Alright, so the bad team has a 6. The good team has a 2. So the bad guys will go first. Okay. So what we're randomly going to do is we're going to randomly place the bad guys because this is a trap. The leader is basically holding a trap for the Hulk and his allies. Okay? And the leader would do that. So I'm going to randomly, instead of placing them in this box, they're randomly, except for the leader and Ross, they will get placed in the box because they are the overseers. And they're going to oversee everything. So we're going to put them right there. Now we're going to randomly place the bad guys on the map. And the way I do this is you have 16 spaces this way and 24 spaces down. However, I'm not putting any in the first 2 and I'm not putting any in the last 2. So that makes 20 spaces. So I'm going to roll the die and I'm starting in order of initiative, in order of their point value, I'm sorry, and place them on the board. So the Abomination, we're going to roll. He's going to be 13, 11. Okay, so 13, he's here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm going to start him right here. There you go. There's the Abomination. A Vapor, she's going to be 3, 9. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so she's hanging back as well. Ironclad is 4, 8. Well, it means he's right here. Bi-Beast is 9, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So he's there. Vector is 11, 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. X-Ray is 7, 10. And the Hulkbuster Wrangler is 5, 10. So we got a lot of 10s. Okay, so they're right there. They're going to leap into the fray. Now the heroes are going to start. Okay. So we're going to put them right there. Alright. So that's how I set up the board. Now how do I play? Okay. So they're going to have to go in order of their point value. Which means on the bad guy's turn, they get 7 turns because we're a 700 point game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So not all will go during that round. However, 2 of the bad guys do have leadership. And leadership is a power which lets you roll a die, and if you successfully roll a die, you get an extra action turn for your team. So they could actually have 9 turns. Okay, so the way I play is we know the bad guys are going to go first. So normally on the first round, if you don't move or nothing like that, you can't be attacked. But we're, like I said, that's on a versus. We're not doing that. Okay. So I'm going to put them on the very back row. Okay. Well, actually, I'm not going to play for initiative on this one. I'll explain that in a second. On who goes first. The Hulk's leaping into the trap, okay? So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to roll for where the Hulk is going to be. He is leapt into the trap, and he's on space 17, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, that would not make sense for him to be into the building, so I'm going to put him one out, so he's right here. Okay, the Hulk is leaping around like the Brute Hulk did. The leader set some kind of thing to where the Hulk's coming there, some kind of beacon that he's aimed at the Hulk. So the Hulk's coming to shut the noise that hurts his head off, and there's the leader in his trap. Now his buddies know that the leader's set a trap for him, so they're going to come in and help. Now, the Abomination would have to go first. He's going to go first on the bad team. And then it would be Vapor would have to go, then the leader, then Ironclad, then Bipeds, then Vector, X-Ray, Ross, and Wrangler. Okay? I cannot say, okay, this turn we're going to have the leader go first. That's not going to happen. They're going to have to go by way of points. They go in that order, highest to lowest. Okay? Now, I had two people that were tied, and that was General Ross and Hulkbuster Wrangler, and General Ross is a leader. He would go first. He would tell the Hulkbuster Wrangler to go last. And the same thing with the heroes. The one with the most point value goes, and then it's the next one, next one, next one. That way, I cannot be as spontaneous and move around as much as I'd say. Like if the leader had a good position, okay, I'm going to go with the leader first, and he's going to do this. It has to be like that. Another thing, when a person gets knocked out on a team, they lose one of their team actions. So right now there's 7 team actions, but let's say one of the guys got knocked out, then there would only be 6 team actions. Okay, that's normally not how it goes, but that's what we're going to do. Okay, and then what's going to happen is the Hulk is going to basically be by himself the first round, and the points value is skewed towards leader. Okay, they have 100 more point value over the good team, and that is because the leader set the trap for them. So I mean, that would kind of be like that. The good guys are at a very disadvantage. They usually are, but for this they're at a real disadvantage. So what's going to happen is the Hulk and then these guys. Okay, then next turn the Red Hulk's going to get to come in, because he heard the noise in the ears too, because these guys are all gamma radiated, and the leader sent some type of gamma radiated thing, and it mainly at the Hulk, but its side hurt them, so they're coming too, but they're just behind. The Red Hulk can jump into the fray, and then the turn after that, Doc Samson, and the turn after that, She-Hulk, and then finally the turn after that, Hulkling. Okay, so they're not all there at once. The leader set the trap for the Hulk. As an unfortunate byproduct, these people are coming. The leader did not expect them to come, and but they come one at a time. They're not all getting there at the same time. That would be very weird and inconvenient and just not straight to the thing. Like I said, I'm not having any debris tokens on the board. We'll go over powers as we do it, and their traits as we do them. And so that's it. Then we're going to play. So now, like I said, the bad guys will have the first initiative. So they are going to get to go first. Okay? So we're going to be based on that. So let me detail a few other things, or get a few other things straight. And I've been thinking about playing around, because here are the bad guys. That's them. I mean, that's them right now. As you can see, an overview, if you were to do an overview on the base, there's our guys. I kind of like doing that a little bit, but just let me know if you don't like it. I think it's pretty neat. I think it shows off the characters. I mean, Vector's you can tell they were tripping acid when they came up with his character design, you know. But nevertheless, I think it's pretty neat. And you can have, you know, move like that kind of thing. So, alright, see you when we get back. Alright, let's get going. So the bad guys are going to go first. So the first bad guy to go will be the Abomination. We're going to give him a power token. Alright, so this is what he has. He has movement of 10, leap climb, attack 10, and he has, sorry, charge. Okay, and defense of impervious. And he has damage 4 but no power with it. His defense is 17. Alright, let's go over these powers real quick. Leap climb. Basically, elevated terrain has no bearing on him, nor do other characters. He can leap and climb around. He can jump around. Basically, that's all it is. So if he wanted to get up here, he can move 1, 2, 3 and be up there. Okay? Charge. Basically what that means is he can move half his movement value and then do a close combat attack. Okay? And that's what we're going to do. And then impervious is his defense. If he gets attacked, he gets to roll a die. If he rolls a 5 or 6, the damage doesn't even hit him. If he rolls a 1, 2, 3, 4, he only takes 2 damage. So if somebody like the Hulk hit him and the Hulk does 4 damage, he would only take 2. Okay, so we got his powers down. We're going to use charge. He has movement of 10, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3 and punch the Hulk. Okay, it says the attack of 10. The Hulk has a defense of 17, so we need a 7 or higher to hit the Hulk. Ooh, and that is a critical failure. Okay, so the Abomination got a little too eager, punched himself. That impervious stuff has no bearing on that situation. So, oof, that was a bad move on the Abomination. Maybe the Hulk just like tripped him or something. Who knows? Okay, next up is Vapor's turn. It's going to be her turn. She's going to give her power action. She has a movement of 5 and it's phasing teleport, and it's like it sounds. She can move through walls, any type of terrain, elevated characters, no problem. She has 9 attack and she has poison. What that does is that poison does 1 damage to any opposing adjacent character. It's a free action. She doesn't even have to roll or nothing for it, okay? But for somebody like the Hulk who has a high defense, who has impervious as well, it won't eat through that. It doesn't penetrate through their defense. Then she has a defense of 17, which is in a white box, and that usually means you have to look at the card. So it says that she has gaseous state. She can use smoke cloud. If she does, modify her defense value by 2 until the beginning of your next turn. Whenever a hindering terrain marker placed by her is removed from the map, you may place her in that square. Alright. Then she has her damage value is 1. She has a range of 4, so she can shoot 4 away. She has shape change. And what shape change is if somebody's going to do an attack on her, she gets to roll. If she rolls a 5 or a 6, they cannot attack her. Okay? If they can attack somebody else, they will attack the next person. They can't. However, if they cannot attack anybody else, they've lost their turn. You can't turn around and say, oh, well, since I can't attack her with combat, I'm going to do this. You can't do that. So that's a pretty cool ability. So we're going to move her. She's one of these hoverers here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And she's going to put, we're going to use this terrain stuff here. And we're going to put a smoke cloud around her. And it's going to block anything from hurting her for a second. Okay? So that's her turn. Next is the leader. Okay, as you can see, he has 8 range. He can target 2. He has stealth. What that means is if the leader gets like in hindering terrain here, okay, he cannot be targeted for an attack for range. Close combat's fine, range no. He has attack 9 and his power is mind control. And what that means is he can do a close combat or a ranged attack on an opposing character. And if he hits that opposing character will get a free action to attack anybody he wants. So if the leader was here and he did mind, let's say Doc Samson was here, the leader would do mind control and he hit Doc Samson, well then he can have Doc Samson turn and pop the Hulk and attack him. And then Doc Samson goes back to normal. Okay, so that's what the leader has for that. And then for his defense is Mastermind, and he has 2 attack but no powers with it. Okay, what Mastermind is he can, if he's next to a character that has less points than he does, like General Ross does, if he takes damage, he can assign that damage to General Ross. Okay, General Ross is taking the bullets for him, and that's basically what that is. So let's go. We're going to move him 8. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And he's going to have his stealth, and he's just going to stay right there. So he can't be targeted by any ranged attack. And that's his turn. Alright, we look at Ironclad. He has 7 movement, no power. He has 10 attack, which is charge. So we know what charge is. And he has impervious for his defense and no damage power. And so we know what impervious is. So we're going to move him. He wants to get an action, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he's coming down there. There you go. Next up is Bybeast. Okay, Bybeast has an 8 movement, and he has a blue power, which is plasticity. And basically what that means is anybody who wants to break away is -2. So they're going to have to roll a 6 to break away from him. And he breaks away easier. So as long as he doesn't roll a 1, he can break away. And he sees the action. Well, let's go to his next power. His next power is super strength. And that's basically lets him pick up an object and use it to hit somebody or throw it at somebody or as a shield. Okay? That's what that does. And then his defense power is, looks like it's invulnerability. It is. And it is -2 damage to him. And he does 4 damage. Okay? So he wants to get in on the action too. So he's going to go, Vector's here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, he's right there. We give him a power token. Okay, Vector. Let's look at what Vector has. Vector has, he can fly. Just consider him, yeah, telekinesis flying, so that's no problem. He has 9 movement. He has 10 attack, and he's in a square, so we have to go to his card. This is mind control. Vector can use telekinesis. Opposing characters within 3 squares may be moved with telekinesis if they were friendly characters. Opposing characters that are moved this way may be dealt 1 damage after the action resolves. Okay. Telekinesis is a little bit to explain, but let me get to it. All right. Telekinesis is basically you pick 3 things, objects or people. One of them has to be Vector. Okay, so he has a telekinesis. Let's say this is an object. Let's say this is a brick. Okay, he can pick something within 8 squares, and it has to be within a line of fire. That means there's nothing blocking his view to it, and it's within 8 squares. He can pick this up and move it 8 squares to a space that's also within line of fire and nothing blocking it. So that's how that works. So if he wanted to pick this up and pop Ironclad with it, he could, because they're all within 8 spaces and in line of fire with each other. He can see the object continuously, and the object can hit Ironclad, nothing blocking that. Okay, now his is a little bit special, whereas now he can also do that to people. Okay, so if he wanted to pick the Abomination up, he could. If he wanted to pick the Hulk up, if the Hulk was in his line of sight, he could. He could pick him up and move him 8 spaces. Now he has a special thing. Remember, it says opposing characters that are moved this way may be dealt 1 damage after the action resolves. So if he moves an opposing character, he can do damage to him, at least 1. Okay. Then he has, for his defense, energy shield, deflection. It's basically he gets a +2 defense against ranged attacks. And he has 2 for damage, and his damage power is leadership. So I already explained one part of leadership, so we're going to go ahead and roll for that. If I roll 5 or 6, we get an extra action this turn. I did not, so we don't get to do that. There is another power part to leadership. Let's say he was standing next to Ironclad, and Ironclad had a power token on him, like he does now. He could remove that power token from Ironclad. Okay? As long as he has lower point value. Now, Ironclad does not have lower point value, but let's say he was next to the General Ross, or X-Ray has a lower point value. He could remove a power token, an action token from X-Ray. That's leadership. Okay, I don't know what I want to do with Vector. I guess Vector, he's another one of them guys who kind of hovers around and uses opportunity. There says there's nothing really to throw at the Hulk, and I don't want to throw the Hulk now because the Abomination and the Bybeast are fixing to wail on him. I'm probably going to just not do anything with him, so he won't go. He doesn't get a power action token. Okay, we have X-Ray. Now, X-Ray has a trait, and his trait is ignore all but one damage dealt to X-Ray by close combat attacks. So when he gets punched, he only takes 1 damage. Okay? Alright. So, he can fly. He has a movement of 12, and he has phasing teleport, just like Vapor. Okay? He has nothing on his attack. Okay? He has nothing on his defense right now, and he has no power. Does he not? I can't see. He does have something on his attack. Okay. So, it's Pulse Wave. Okay, Pulse Wave. It's another long one we're going to have to get into, but here we go. Pulse Wave. I'm going to try to read it straight from the thing and then try to maybe explain it because it's one of them ones that, yeah, takes a little bit. Give this character a range combat action and it halves its range value. Okay, so normally his range value is 9, it would half it, so we would go to 4. Okay, or 5. Okay, alright. Draw lines of fire to all characters. Okay, including his teammates. Okay, and it has to include at least one opposing character. So right now he couldn't do it because he could not draw a line of fire to an opposing character. But let's say Doc Samson was right here. Okay, alright, we're good? Alright, so you draw a line of fire to all characters. Okay, well, we got line of fire here. We got line of fire here to Vector, and we got line of fire to Doc. Okay, now Stealth and Ironclad we have to read further to see. It says, all game effects possessed or used by other characters with a line of fire drawn to them are ignored until the action has resolved. If ignoring game effect will cause the character line of fire to drawn no longer be drawn to 2 or more characters, the character damage becomes 1. Okay, alright. So, Ironclad, the way I play it is Ironclad is not in line of fire. However, he is in line of fire. Even though you normally couldn't target him with a ranged attack, Pulse Wave is reason he can't get shot with a ranged attack is because he can't be seen by the character. Okay? Character can't see him to do the ranged attack. X-Ray does Pulse Wave, and it's basically he just emits like an EMP or energy bomb, and it's going to hit everything in its path. Okay. Okay, so the only thing that blocks it is hindering terrain. So when I said Ironclad wouldn't get hit, I was wrong. Ironclad would get hit. It's going to go through people. It's going to go through hindering terrain. The only thing it's not going to go through is like the brown square terrain. Okay, it wouldn't go through that. That's impassable. Or if somebody was standing on top of the building, elevation hinders it, and impassable terrain hinders it. So, like, if a bomb went off, you know, hiding behind a Jeep, really, because it's a pulse, not like a regular bomb, but like a pulse bomb went off, would not hinder it, and neither would another character. Okay, so then his damage is going to get locked at number 1. Okay, it becomes locked. Okay, so damage he's going to do from this pulse wave is 1. Okay, and then what's going to happen is he rolls his attack die, and everybody he hits is going to take 1 damage, and it negates their defense. Okay, so somebody like Ironclad who has Impervious, it would just eat through their defense. It would go through it, and everybody would take 1 damage, and that's basically what Pulse Wave is. Okay, but he doesn't want to do that right now because first of all he can't. So second of all, he doesn't do really enough damage to damage the Hulk. So honestly, there's really no point moving him either. So we're not going to, I think he's a hoverer though. While Vector is more along lines of stand back and observe and move in, X-Ray is one of them hoverer type people that always going to go look for a shot. So we're going to move him 12. We're going to just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He's going to hang right here because he has a range of 10, and he's going to try to shoot the Hulk when the opportunity arises. Now right now he can't damage the Hulk, but the Hulk gets weakened a little bit, he can do something with him. So we're going to put a power token on him. Okay, General Ross. General Ross has leadership. So let's see if he can get his leadership. He can. So we're going to, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now that's it. That's it. So General Ross can't go, I'm sorry. So it's not General Ross's turn because Vector failed his leadership role. They don't get an extra action. Okay. Now it is the Hulk's turn. The Hulk is the only player on the board. So let's look and see what the Hulk has. Of course, he has charge. Okay. He has super strength, which we've already gone over. He has impervious, which we've already gone over. And his defense is 4. It's in a box. So let's see what that special thing reads. And it says, the Incredible Avenger can use leap, climb, and quake. He ignores hindering terrain and outdoor blocking terrain for movement while using charge. Okay. That says, now, quake is the only thing we have to go over. Quake is this. He does, well, we'll read it. Get his character a close combat action. His damage becomes 2 and is locked. Make a close combat attack that targets all opposing characters. This character can attack with a close combat attack. Each character that takes damage from this attack is knocked back. Okay. Alright, so let's say he wanted to do Quake. Now, let's say he was surrounded. He's going to do Quake. He rolls 1 time, and anybody he hits is going to take 2 damage. Okay. However, it does not eat through defense, not like Pulse Wave. So if they don't take damage, they're not getting knocked back. And what knockback is for every space that for every time you took damage, you're going to get knocked back 1 space. If you get knocked back into a wall, you're going to take an extra damage, okay? That's basically what Quake is. So he could use Quake now, but it's not really going to do anything because both of these guys are heavy hitters right now. So the Hulk is just going to basically straight up attack. So we're going to put a power action on the Hulk, and we're going to attack. And I don't know who to attack. Let's see who has the lowest defense. 16, 17. So probably the Abomination. They're mortal enemies anyways. Let him attack the Abomination. Now the Hulk has an attack of, what is that? 10. So he needs a 6 or higher. He got it. An 8. So he's going to do 4 damage. Now remember, the Abomination, I think he still has impervious, which he does. So the Abomination gets to roll a die. If he rolls a 5 or 6, he takes no damage. He rolled a 6. No damage. So he's impervious. So now, the next person on the hero team to come in is going to be the Red Hulk. And of course, he's a leap climber. So we're going to roll to see where he lands, because he's just jumping around into the fray like he would. And he lands at 9, 12. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He lands, boom, inside this building right here. And that's it. That's his turn. He can't do anything. Okay? So that's it for the heroes. Now we come back to the bad guys. When we left off, it was General Ross. So let's get to roll General Ross for leadership. He didn't get it. Okay? Now let's look at General Ross. Right now he has absolutely nothing except for, oops, toughness. Ah, dang it. I can't believe I did that. He has toughness. And he has a little box too. And it says for his damage, General Ross can use leadership. When General Ross makes a successful leadership roll, he may remove an action token from an adjacent friendly character with a soldier keyword of a point value 75 points or less in addition to the normal effects. So, okay, so remember, leadership, you have to have you can remove a token from somebody with the less point value. But however, General Ross has got that special one where as long as they have the keyword soldier, he can remove that leadership, that token from them as long as they're 75 points or less. He only has 25 points. So he's going to move. Hey, the Red Hulk just bounced right in. There's like, oh boy. So he's going to move 6. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's just going to stand back and try to observe the situation. The Hulkbuster Wrangler, he has Incapacitate, which we have not seen yet, as an attack action. 7 movement. Incapacitate basically is you roll an attack action, and if you hit, you put a power token by them. So if they don't have willpower and you put a second power token by them, they're going to push. Okay. Same with if you put a third power token by them. That basically uses up their action. So he's at 7. So he shoots. I think what I'm going to have him do, he's going to come move next to the leader. So he's going to come here and be next to the leader. Okay. So there's his. So that's 2 actions. The Abomination is going to push. We're going to push with him, and he will attack the Incredible Hulk. And he rolls a 6. He has 10, and he needed a 7 to hit. So his attack is a big swing and a miss. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to end with Bybeast. Vapor is going to go, and Vapor is just going to clear. So we're going to get to move this stuff away from her. She's going to clear. The leader is going to basically, I think leadership, he doesn't have leadership. He's going to clear as well. Ironclad is going to clear. And Bybeast, I'm actually thinking about pushing with Bybeast. So I think I'm going to do that. And he's going to attack the Hulk. He has an attack of 11. So he needs a 6 or higher. And he got it. Now he does 4 damage, but remember the Hulk has impervious. So if I roll a 5 or 6, I take no damage. I rolled a 1. So the Hulk is going to take 2 damage. 1, 2. And Bybeast is going to have to take a damage because he pushed. Okay? And that is it for the bad guy's turn. It's our hero's turn. Now the Hulk, he's going to push. And I think he's going to attack the Abomination. Now he basically still has the same stats, except his damage is a little less. So he's going to push. It's not going to hurt him. Actually, it's the Red Hulk's turn. I'm sorry. We have to do the Red Hulk first. Remember, we're doing order of initiative. Now the Red Hulk has a trait. And it says Red Hulk can use super strength. So all the time, no matter what, he can use super strength. Okay, right now he has 11 movement in the white box. And it says Red Hulk can use leap climb if he moves 6 squares or less due to his own action. After that action resolves, he can make a close combat attack as a free action. So he kind of like has charge. He has 10 attack, and he has poison for his attack. Okay? And then he has, right now, he has toughness as a defense, which is -1. So anytime he takes damage, it's going to be -1 damage to him. And he has 3 for his attack, and it is outwit. Now we haven't talked about outwit, so let's talk about it. You have to be able to see and have line of fire on the person you're going to outwit, and it basically you can negate that one of their powers for that turn. Okay, any power you want, you can negate for that turn. Unfortunately, though, he has no line of sight on anybody, so he can't use outwit right now this turn. However, he can do his little charge. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and attack this guy right here. And he rolls a 6. He has a 10, and that 6 is what he needed. He got a 16. Okay. So, he is going to take, how much damage does he do? 3 3 damage. So let's do 3 damage on him. 1, 2, 3. And that knocked him. He has no power showing whatsoever right now. Okay. Now it's the Hulk's turn, and the Hulk is going to push. Oh. And we're going to attack the Abomination. And we got a 7. So we have 9 and 7. We need a 16. That is a hit. But remember, the Abomination gets to roll for Impervious. And he didn't get it. So the Abomination is going to take 1 damage. Okay? So there's that. And then the next hero to come in is Doc Samson. Now, Doc Samson does not leap or climb. So, he gets to come in. So, boom, he's here. He has to start from here. And he will get to come in next turn and do a movement. Okay? And that's all of our heroes. So, there we go. So, Doc Samson is now on the board. He's running up to the base. He sees what's going on. And there we go. Okay, so let's see who we start with. We ended with By Beast last time, so now we're going to start with Vector. Now Vector is going to roll for leadership. And he gets it, so they're going to get an extra action. Vector sees old Red Hulk. So I'm thinking Vector is going to use telekinesis on old Hulk and move him back over there. So he's going to try to hit him. 6. I don't think that's going to hit. That's 10, 6, 10. Actually, it does hit. So, he does telekinesis. We're going to do a power action on Vector. And he's going to move him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to move him all the way over here. Okay. Let's see, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know if he can do that. I think it all must all be within it. He has to be right here. So he telekinesed him right there. Okay. X-Ray is going to clear. General Ross is going to clear. But I think leadership is a free action, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's a free action. So he can roll. And he rolls it. So they're going to get a full actions. So he's clearing. He's clearing. Abomination will clear. Vapor. We're on Vapor. Let me think about what I want Vapor to do. The Red Hulk just showed up right there. She can't really damage him. She's still a hoverer. I think we're just going to keep her there. She's just going to put her little smoke cloud here. I think what she may do is she's going to protect General Ross somewhat. That's her job, right? The leader's going to get to go. The leader's got the Red Hulk there. However, doing mind control on him really won't accomplish anything right now. However, he could do we do have line of fire because we are from the center of the square to the center of the square. So what I'm thinking is he will try to use incapacitate on the Red Hulk. So let's see if he can do that because he has that power right now. That's a 9 and that's going to hit. So he puts incapacitate on the Red Hulk. And what that's going to do is because the Red Hulk does not have willpower or anything like that right now, okay, he will have to take a click of damage. Okay. Ironclad is going to get to go. And remember, he moves 7 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he's going to come here and he's going to join the fray against the Hulk. And by Beast we will clear. And that is it for their turn. Okay, so now it is the hero's turn. Of course, the Red Hulk is going to have to clear. Our Hulk is going to have to clear. Doc Samson could go. So let's see what Doc Samson has. He has a trait. Deprogramming. Give Doc Samson a power action and choose another friendly character within 4 squares in line of fire. That character can't be affected by Outwit or Perplex until your next turn. And that's not really something I want to do. He has Leap Climb. He has Charge right now as well. And he has Invulnerability. So, I think we're going to try to charge. However, He can only charge 4 spaces, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. He would not get there. So he's just going to move all 8 spaces to here. Okay? We're going to give him power action. Now the next person, the hero to arrive, is She-Hulk. And she's another leap climber, so let's figure out where she's going to land. 10, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Boom, right there. Boom, right out of nowhere she lands. Alright. And that is it for the heroes. Alright. So, see, we did started 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, Vector's going to start. Vector has leadership. He does not get it. He's going to clear. X-Ray is Doc Samson. He still couldn't hurt Doc Samson. So I think I'm going to have this X-Ray just stay there. He's not going to do anything. General Ross is going to use leadership. And he got it, so they get a free one. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It would end on Ironclad. Okay. Well, that barrier's there. So we're not going to do anything with Ross. The Wrangler could not damage anybody if he wanted to. So he's not going to do anything. The Abomination will attack, and he will attack the Hulk. Let's just put a power token on him. And he gets a 7, and he needs a 17, an 18 to hit. And that's a big miss. So the Abomination does not attack. Vapor will clear. The leader will try incapacitate again on the Red Hulk. And he gets it, so we put an incapacitate token on the Red Hulk. Ironclad, I think I'm going to have Ironclad push, to be honest with you. And he's going to attack Doc Samson. I know he should attack the Hulk, but he's going to attack Doc Samson. 5, and that is a big miss. So Ironclad pushed. Didn't work out the way he wanted, so do that. And Beast is now going to go, and he will attack the Hulk. And he misses. He needs an 8. So there we go. Okay, now it is the hero's turn. Red Hulk is going to go. He still has his little special thing. He sees General Ross. Actually, yeah, he sees General Ross. So he will come up and attack General Ross. I'm making it that the leader's is hiding behind the thing. He's getting shot at, but he can't see where he's going. And we're going to have to push to do that, but that's fine. Now, he saw General Ross, and what he's going to do is he's going to outwit General Ross's toughness. So General Ross will not have toughness this turn. Okay, I said 8, that's a hit. So he's going to do 3 damage to General Ross. 1, 2, 3. And General Ross has been KO'd. So wow, General Ross has got knocked the hell out. Okay, so there we go. But the Hulk has to push now, okay? And we do that. Alright. We took a click of damage. Our Incredible Hulk is going to get to go. Let me see. Of the 3, Beast is the lowest defense. We're going to attack him. We got an 8. That's a hit. We do 3 damage. Now, Beast at this moment in time has invincibility, I think. I think he has the silver, right? Yes. So he's only going to take 1 damage. Okay. And there we go. Let me put a power action on the Hulk. Doc Samson will not, he will clear. She-Hulk. Hey, She-Hulk is here. Let's see what she has. She has Leap Climb. She has Charge. And she has a defense special thing and 3 damage. She can use Invulnerability. If she is holding an object, she can use Energy Shield Deflection. So she can charge. She just jumps right here. The leader is hiding, but she sees Vapor right in front of her. So she will charge Vapor and attack. Vapor's like, oh crap. Now we get a 6, and she needs a 17, so she's a big miss. Okay, so let's put a power action on her. And now Hulkling has come, and he's going to be right here, and then he will get to go next turn. Alright, so bad guy's turn. We ended with By Beast last time. Vector will get to go. He's going to use leadership, and he does. So the turn right now is going to end 1, 2. Now remember, we're down 1 because General Ross, so we only have 6. So we now have 7 actions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The turn will end with Ironclad as it stands. And now She-Hulk is attacking Vector's woman. So She-Hulk is fixing to get telekinesed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All the way over here. Now, he may do 1 damage to her, but she has invulnerability, so it's not going to do any damage, but he did that. He got her the hell off of Vapor. X-Ray is going to go, and can he hurt him? He can't hurt anybody right now, so he's still just going to stay there and wait. Hulkbuster Wrangler, he's going to take a... He can't hurt anybody, but he's going to stay right here next to the leader. Abomination will push. He's going to attack the Hulk. He gets a 7, and he needs an 8. He misses. Vapor didn't like that attack, so what Vapor is going to do, she's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And she's going to put a little barrier right here with her and her man. Her man's more important than what the leader says. And that's the way that would go out. Okay, the leader's going to go, and he will try to incapacitate the Red Hulk. Where's my red die? 7. 9 and 7 is 16, and that is a miss. He needs a 17. He had to get to 17, and that's a miss. So the leader went. 4, 5, 6. And Ironclad has to clear. Okay, now the heroes. Red Hulk has to clear. Okay. Our Incredible Hulk, he's going to push. He's going to attack By Beast again. Got a 7, and that's a hit. So he's going to do 3 damage. By Beast has toughness, so he's only -1, so By Beast will take 2 damage. 1, 2. Okay. Doc Samson's going to go. And he's going to attack Ironclad. And he rolled a 5, and that's going to be a big miss. She-Hulk is going to have to clear. And Hulkling finally gets to go. Now let's look at Hulkling's powers. He has Earthbound. Now, I know he can fly, but what Earthbound does is basically say, no, he can't fly right now. He's grounded. He cannot fly. Okay? He has Charge as well. Okay? And then he has, it looks like, Invulnerability. So we know what that is. That's just -2 defense. And then 3 right here. I think that is going to be Shape Change. Yes, Shape Change. So he can charge. He has a movement of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Man, still wouldn't be close to anybody. So we're going to move him here. He sees these guys, the Hulk. He's going to just move there. And we're going to put a power token on him. And there we go. And now it is the bad guy's turn. Okay, Bybeast is up. I think Bybeast has willpower. I'm pretty sure he does. So he will attack. His powers change. He has willpower now. And I mean, he will attack the Hulk. So let's put a power action on him. And he missed. Vector's turn. Vector will go for leadership. He doesn't get it, and he will have to clear. Okay, X-Ray is still just waiting in the wings, so we're not going to do nothing with him. Hulkbuster Wrangler really can't do nothing, so that's fine. So, it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the turn will end with Vapor. Abomination will clear. Vapor will clear. And we move these from the board. Okay, now it's our hero's turn. It's the Red Hulk. And he's going to go. Now he still has his charge. Boom. He's figured out where all this incapacitating shooting is coming from. So he will attack the leader. And he hits him. So he's going to do 4 damage. However, remember, leader has mastermind, so this guy's going to take the damage. So this guy takes damage and he gets knocked out. So the Hulkbuster Wrangler has been knocked out. We put a power action on the Red Hulk. Our Incredible Hulk is going to go. He's going to push. And he will attack Bybeast. And he gets a 10, and that's going to be a hit. And that does 3 damage. And he has no defense power. So he's going to take the full 3. 1, 2, 3. He's still alive. Doc Samson will clear. She-Hulk. Hey, She-Hulk's finally back. She doesn't like these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who's got the 7? Okay. And Hulkling, you know what? We're going to push with Hulkling. So he's going to take a click of damage, but he will attack as well. And he's going to attack Ironclad. And he gets a 9. So he does 3 damage. He hit. So Ironclad is now invincible, so he will only take 1 damage. Okay. And then he will take a click of damage. Come on. Sometimes these dials, man, these older ones are terrible. They don't move real good. Okay. And that's it for the heroes. So let's go back to our villains. Okay, alright. Well, we ended with Vapor. So the leader is going to... Oh, man. The leader is going to... He's stuck there. He could try to break away and push. If he don't, he's going to take poison damage. So he's going to take damage either way. So the leader will try to break away. He's going to push and try to do that. And he needs a 4, 5, 6. And he didn't get it. So the leader is going to take a click of damage and be stuck there. Ironclad will go. And Ironclad is going to... Who has the lowest defense? Hulkling. Ironclad will attack the Hulkling. 6, 9, and 6 is 15. That is a miss. Bybeast will clear. So it was 1, 2, 3. Vector, 4, 5. Vector will go. And he will roll for leadership. He doesn't get it. So we started with leaders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll end with the abomination. Okay. Vector. Well, we can't get through her defense. Vector has something I forgot to tell you. he has perplex. And what that does is it lets him add a +1 to any value he wants. So if he wants to add a +1 to his damage value, great. If he wants to add a +1 to his defense or attack value, great. He's going to add a +1 to his damage value. Okay? And see if he can't hurt her with 1. Because that will put his damage value at 3. But he has to hit her first. Ah, he didn't get it. He needed a 7. Okay, Vapor will go. Now Vapor has poison, but that's not going to get through her defenses. So, and she only does the 1 damage. So what I'm going to do with her is she's going to break away, which she automatically does because she has phasing teleport. And she's going to move here. I mean, that's not her. It's not her turn, though. Dang it, I'm sorry. It's X-Ray's turn. X-Ray's going to come to help. He says, screw the hog, I got to help my team. 3, 5. He's going to be there. And then the Abomination will get to go, and he will attack the Hulk. And that's a miss. Okay, so it's the hero's turn. Now the Red Hulk is going to clear, but he does do 1 poison damage to the leader. So there we go. The Incredible Hulk has to clear. Doc is going to get to go, and he will attack Ironclad. And he rolls a 9, and that's going to be a hit. So he's going to do 1 click of damage to Ironclad. Okay. She-Hulk will clear. Hulkling will clear. Actually, I'm thinking about having Hulkling push. I want to have Hulkling push. He's going to attack Ironclad as well. He rolls a 6. That's 14. That is nowhere near a hit. Okay. So that's it for Hulkling. So now the bad guys get to go. And it's Vapor's turn. And like I said with Vapor, I'm going to move her here. So we're going to put a token on her. Leader can't do nothing. He has to clear. Ironclad. Let me see. He's still pretty good. Ironclad will push. And he will attack Hulkling. But we have to roll for shape change. So let's roll for that. Doesn't get it. So he will attack Hulkling. That's an 8. 16, that is just a hit. He does 4 damage. Now remember, Hulkling has invincibility, so he's only going to take 2 damage. 1, 2. And Ironclad pushed, so he will take a click of damage. Okay. Bybeast is going to go. He will attack the Hulk. Well, that hit that, so we got to re-roll that one, and that's a 6. Right there. And 8 and 6 is 14. That is nowhere near. So that is it for him. Okay. Okay. Vector's turn. He's going to roll for leadership. He gets it. So the good guy, the bad guys get an extra attack or extra thing. So Vector will just clear. X-Ray is going to clear, and then the Abomination is going to push. And he's going to attack the Hulk. 7. That's 17. That is not a hit. He needs an 18. You need to get 18 to hit. So, wow. All right, the hero's turn. Well, it's the Red Hulk's turn. And it looks like maybe the Red Hulk might end this. First of all, let's do the poison. Does poison come before or at the beginning? Yes. Okay. Now he will attack. That's 10. That's 20, even including hindering terrain, and that's a big hit. So he's going to do 4 clicks of damage to the leader. 1, 2, 3, and the leader has been KO'd, and that is it. Our heroes handily won that trap. Sponsored by the leader. The UFOs, and this, you know what, kind of seems about right. We're going to be like, let's get the hell out of here. So that is that. Ironclad, the Hulk had a long way to go, man. The Hulk, his high defense at 18, it doesn't seem like, I know it seems like it's not hard, but man, get rolling an 8 or higher on some of these is hard. So the leader and General Ross were both taken out. The rest of the bad guys were like, let's get out of here, we're getting beat. Now you see that failed the way it did because of the way I played it. And so it plays more like I'm drawing a comic book. If that sounds kind of crazy, I know, but it plays more like that than having to use strategy and stuff, but still retains the fun elements of it, because I thought it played really good. The brawlers went up to brawl. The leader and General Ross hung back, but they didn't count on Hulk having allies just jumping down into the middle of the fray like the Red Hulk did. They didn't count on that. They thought they were just getting the Hulk. They thought their trap had been set up perfect. And so the randomness of where the Red Hulk fell, you know, he was kind of like behind the enemy lines, and he was doing damage there, and the leader couldn't do anything. He just couldn't counter it. Neither could General Ross. I mean, General Ross got taken out in one hit, which makes sense because if the Red Hulk hits him, it'd kill him. The UFOs try to do some stuff, but they're not overpowering. And they're going against people who need to be weakened first before they can really damage anything. And so they have to just kind of hang in the back. And really, honestly, their loyalty is to themselves. I know they work for the leader and hate the Hulk and all that kind of stuff, but they're a family to themselves when it comes down to it. And they care more about themselves than anybody else. That's why Vapor would have left the leader and General Ross and go to help her man. X-Ray, that's why X-Ray would have came up to try to help him. Vector, probably with his telekinesis, is the strongest and can move people around. But using Perplex, he tried to damage her and that She-Hulk, because you damage her enough, she's not that strong. She's only 75 points, so Hulkling was almost dead. So there was that. So them hanging around in the back, kind of getting caught from the side by She-Hulk and Red Hulk. Who knows how it would have been if Red Hulk and She-Hulk would have landed here. They probably would have jumped into the fray there. So I think it played out pretty well. So this is what I have to do with HeroClix. I don't get to play with other people, but it is very fun to me, and it relives childhood memories of me reading some good comic stories. And I like playing it. It's just fun, and I've come up with a bunch of whole custom scenarios based on some of my favorite characters or comic book storylines, and I can't wait to bring you more. Of course, I probably will get a lot of flack. I probably did make a few little mistakes here or there, because this game, you will make mistakes. When you start playing, or if you haven't played in a while. I mean, there's just an overwhelming amount of rules, and it puts off a lot of people. Another thing that puts off a lot of people is the price point. You got to spend a lot of money on this game, especially to get the characters you want. You just do, okay? But you can go the cheap route. You can go on the internet and find a lot of places that sell a lot of figures for 99 cents. You can get this Hulk figure for 99 cents. You can get some of these figures for 99 cents. Hell, maybe even cheaper. It just depends who you want. You want DC, you want Marvel, you want Lord of the Rings. It just depends on who you want. And so They have starter packs that come with maps. I get my maps laminated. Okay, that's what I do. Is get a laminated, and it helps. And you know, it's something it's not a traditional board game in the sense, but it's something you might look into and you might have fun with. And if you can play with other people and do the way the game is supposed to be played, hey, that's great. Because there's nothing more fun than playing against other people, you know, and just screwing around, you know, having some beers and some pizza and playing against a bunch of other people, and y'all keep playing and playing your favorite heroes. There's fun like that. So I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm going to bring you some more. I really like this game, HeroClix, and it's something people should look into getting into if you have the money for it. And if you really can find its worth. So if you got a lot of friends, you could play, it'd be worth it. And if you're just going to play it like me solo, it may not be unless you just have the money. So until the next time, I will see you then, and have fun.